Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the books I read in July. Beginning of the year I was posting. I kind of stopped because I got a job and I was just like focused on that. But I really want to get back into it. So if you're still here from that, thank you for sticking around. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to start posting again and just filming because it's fun. Like, I enjoy making YouTube videos and I'm excited to get back into it. So let's get into the books I read in July. I started off the month reading Fourth Wing, which is iconic. If you don't know anything about Fourth Wing, it is a fantasy book and you're following Violet, who is entering like the college age, I believe. And at the age she's at, she has to choose like which profession she's gonna go into, and she decides to go with like the fighters, like the warriors, like the dragon riders. You follow her becoming a dragon rider, which was fun. Eventually you get to meet Xaden, who is a third year at the Dragon Rider College. I can't remember what it's called. Basgiath. It took me so long to learn how to pronounce that. You kind of get to follow like a little enemies to lovers plot. This one I gave 5 stars, which I feel like isn't shocking. Who doesn't love Fourth Wing? But it was so good and I wasn't expecting it. The fantasy, really easy, like the world building and stuff, really easy to follow. And also I just really love the characters. Like Violet and Xaden, love them both. And then you get to meet like the other peers she's at the college with and the little friend group she forms. Love that. I haven't read a book with dragons. Well, I guess I've read Throne of Glass, which has wyverns, whatever, but they're not dragons. So this was the first book I read with dragons, and that was really cool. I really enjoyed that element of like, because they're not just dragons, like you can hear their thoughts, and like like they have personalities. Like the dragons are fully fleshed out characters that you get to know, which was really fun. Like I really enjoyed that. It was something different. Maybe a lot of fantasy books have that, but it was something different for me at least, so that was really good. And I think just the plot line was so good. Like getting to follow all of the little like tasks and classes and stuff she has to go through at that school was really fun. I really enjoyed that. And at the end, the little like, there's a very big plot twist at the end. That was crazy. I kind of saw it coming because my sister had read it first and she was like, my jaw dropped at the end, so I was like already looking out for something. It did not take away from the shock factor. When I read it, I was just like, oh whoa. So that leads me to my next read, which was immediately me jumping into Iron Flame, which is the second book after Fourth Wing. It's called the Empyrean series. And then this one, you're basically just following the aftermath of the first one. So the first one is basically her in her first year, and then the second one is her in her second year, and it's not the same. Like things change a lot and you get to follow, there's a lot more things going on. It really goes deeper into the fantasy aspect of it and not just the romance. I get to see what's going on the fantasy side of things, which was so interesting and I loved it. I think it's just a very interesting fantasy world and it's very easy to follow along, so it makes it very enjoyable to read. This one had another plot twist at the end. It's a fantasy book, what are you gonna do? But it has me so on edge and I need the third one to come out now, but it doesn't come out till like January, I believe. So I have to wait a little bit. But it's kind of also fun to get to follow along with the series and like not have all the books ready, and like I just kind of have to sit there and wait and like anticipate it with everyone, so that is fun. So I gave Iron Flame 4 stars. Didn't love it as much as Fourth Wing, just there's something about that first book, but it was still really good and it's really close to a 5-star. The next book I read was Powerful by Lauren Roberts, the novella, and it's a part of the, what is this series called? Powerless? It takes place during when Powerless takes place, but you're following her best friend Aduna and like what she's doing while Peyton is in the trials. Y'all, this was a heartbreak in a book. Like, it was so cute. I know it's just a novella, so there's not like, it wasn't a huge book, but I loved it, and I love Aduna, and I love no, not his name. Mac? Is that his name? I can't remember how to pronounce it. They were so cute, and I don't know. It was such a cute little novella, and like getting to see what was going on in Aduna's side of things, because you really don't get much of that in Powerless. And then the ending, we're just not going to speak about it. That's what we're gonna do. So I did rate this 5 stars. I know it's just novella, but it delivered and it gave what it needed to give. So 5 stars. The next book I read was Play Along by Liz Tomforde. This is the 5th book in the Windy City series. Immediate 5 stars. Something about like this series just gets better, even better book by book. Like I don't know how Liz Tomforde does it, but she writes her men so well, and I love it. Like they're so caring and attentive, and like they listen. I don't know, I just love the way Liz Tomforde writes her men. In Play Along, you're following Kai's brother, which is Isaiah. He basically elopes with their teen doctor girl in Vegas, and you're just following the aftermath of that, of them deciding to fake it and take this elopement and use it to benefit both of them. Not both of them, I think it just benefits her, but it benefits him too because he's down bad for her. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I was so giddy. The way he like, I don't know, I love it. Something about a good romance book that would just make me so happy, and this was one of them. Just the way he treats her, and the way like he shows her how important she is, and like how loved she is. If I had to choose, he's probably like one of the second favorite man from this series. The first one is going to be Ryan Shea, and it's always going to be Ryan Shea. There is no beating him. Anyways, this book I believe I gave it 5 stars. Yes, so I gave this book 5 stars. The next book I read was The Selection by Kiera Cass. Y'all, I had no idea what this book was about. I just kind of went in blindly because my cousin was like, you should read this. And I also know a lot of people have read it before, but I just literally didn't know a thing about it. Why did I love it? It's not even necessarily like great writing or great plot, really fleshed out. I mean, it is in a way, but it's not the best thing out there, but it was so entertaining. I don't know, I was eating it up. If you don't know anything about The Selection, basically it's a dystopian world, and you're following America Singer. So like in this world, everyone is in a cast, and she is in cast 5. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So she's in the 5th cast. And whenever the prince of the kingdom like becomes of age, they hold something called The Selection, and they pick 35 girls from the country, and they all come and compete to, not necessarily compete, but they all come and compete to see who's gonna be the next princess and marry the prince. I don't know why this was so entertaining. There's not much to say about it. The plot was fun. I liked the dystopianness of it. Like, I've missed reading dystopian books, and now I kind of want to read some more. It was just so entertaining. Like, it was interesting seeing the plot of it's basically the Bachelor, and there's just all these girls. I liked it. It was really fun. And who doesn't love like being in a castle with a book? It's just something entertaining. So for that one I gave 4 stars because I was thoroughly entertained. Then I went on to read The Elite, which is the 2nd book in that series. Read that in a day. You're still in the competition. Like he hasn't picked his princess yet, so we're still following that. I read it in a day. I was so entertained. I needed to know what was gonna happen. There you go. And this one I also gave 4 stars because it felt like I was watching a show or something, and I was just like, I was eating it up. I was going episode binging it. And the next day I read The One, which is the 3rd book in the series. Finished that in that day. So literally 2 days, 2 books. I don't know how it happened. Like, this one was the final book of America's story and who she ends up with. I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to spoil, but it is kind of a love triangle type situation. Like, she has to choose someone. That can stress me out, but I just enjoyed it, and it was funny, and it was cute, and it was entertaining, and I loved the dystopian, and I loved the dismantling of the monarchy-ish in that book. It was just entertaining. The end had me whiplashed. Kind of upset with what they chose to do with a certain person, but I can't change that, so I just have to deal with it. But it was just entertaining. Like, I don't have much to say about the series because it's not like groundbreaking. I'm not super obsessed with the characters. I was just entertained. So 4 stars. Then we got into what I believe is my first DNF of the year, which was Nora Goes Off Script. I'm so sad, guys. I read Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, same author, and I enjoyed it so much. And so I was like, obviously I want to read the other books that she has out. So then I started Nora Goes Off Script because I've also heard people love that one, so I was like, okay, let's get into it. But not connect to the characters, and it felt like as I was reading it, it felt like everything was happening so fast. Like, you would start a chapter, the scene they were in would last for like this long on the page, and then we'd be in another scene, and every time it would be like, he looked at me, he smiled, we like each other, we went to bed, we woke up, we ate, we smiled. Like, girl, I'm getting nowhere. Like, there was no actual, it's like I didn't feel like I knew what was happening, but there was just no fleshing out of it. It just very much felt like I was being told stuff, and not in a good way. Like, it was just, I don't know, I did not like it, and I felt no connection. Like, I was 51% into the book, and they were like together, but we never got there. Like, there was no plot to actually get there. It was just like, oh, they like each other, oh, we know each other, we sit there and we watch the sunset, and then we kiss. Like, where's the conversations? Where's the getting to know each other? Where's the actual like writing of the story? It was not what I expected, and I was gonna push through, but I could not. I was just like, I have no interest. I'm upset because why were we not even like fleshing everything out, like actually writing a book? Let me calm down. I don't know, that's just my thoughts. So I DNF'd that. I'm still gonna count it towards my reading goal because I did read 51%, but that was kind of sad because I love summer romance. Thing is, I listened to summer romance, so maybe that was different because I didn't see how much, like, maybe it's the same way in that book, but I didn't realize it because I listened to it, but I don't think it was. I don't know. The next book I read was A Funny Story by Emily Henry. In this book, you're following Miles and Daphne right after both of their relationships just ended. Daphne's fiance ends up getting with Miles' girlfriend, and like right before the wedding, so they take off, and then Daphne's like, I don't have any place to live, so Mr. Miles here has an extra room, so they move in together, and then that's where it takes off, and you get to follow just like the story of them healing from their relationships and obviously falling in love. Why am I out of breath? This book was so cute, y'all. Emily Henry never disappoints. Everything I've read so far I love. Daphne, so cute, love her. I love that she's a librarian. I feel like I don't think I've read a book about a librarian yet, so that was very interesting and I enjoyed that. The plot of that and like getting to follow along her planning the readathon and stuff and getting to follow that was really fun. Miles, he was so cute. Like, I really liked Miles. He was so cute. I really enjoyed, like, if you read it you'll understand, but the way he treats her, it's like all these little things he does for her, but they're not even like mentioned. Like, they're mentioned, they're not even talked about, they're not made a big deal. Like, they'll be doing something and it's just like a simple like, oh, and he gave her this, which like probably bare minimum, but but it was so cute. It was just not made a big deal, and it was just him being like gentlemanly and like he cares about her, and he wanted to like have those cute moments with her, and just it was like in his nature to treat her that way and like just do the things he did for her, which I loved. And also I love a good forced proximity, which is what this was, so that was amazing. I loved the side characters. It was a good time. I think this might be one of my favorite Emily Henry books now because just something about them was so cute and I loved it. 4 stars. Then for the ending of this month, I jumped into the last 2 books in the Selection series, which follows the daughter of the couple from the first 3. So we get to jump into the future and follow Princess Edalyn, and basically she ends up having her own selection because the country's not in a great state. It is, but like things are kind of going wrong and they need to distract and kind of bring unity. So she has her own selection and you just get to follow that again. But it was so, I don't know, I enjoyed it. Like, I'm not saying these books are revolutionary, but I liked them and I had fun. So for The Heir, I gave 4 stars, and then I jumped right into The Crown, which is the ending of Edalyn's story, and you get to see who she ends up with, and and you get to follow her story with the monarchy starting. So that one I also gave 4 stars because it was just entertaining. I don't know. I was kind of peeved with the second book and who she ended up with because I feel like we didn't get enough actual development between the couple and it focused more on the other boys. I feel like we should have delved a little more into that. I understand why she's with who she's with and I don't disagree with that choice, but I just wish we got more like actual page time of them and like got to see more of their relationship develop because I feel like it wasn't enough. But it was still really cute and once again entertaining, so I gave that one 4 stars. So that was all the books I read in July. It was a pretty good reading month. I had mostly 4 stars all across the board, 1 DNF, so sad. And I read 11 books this month. I think I was a tiny bit slumped out last month, so this month was a good recovery from that and I'm happy with how it went. Anyways, thank you guys for sticking around. I'll see y'all the next time I post. Bye!